So I'm Paul Simmons. I work for easyJet as UK Director. easyJet operates across Europe, and one of the things we really try and do is be a European airline rather than a UK airline. So although we are UK owned on the UK stock market, to our customers we can be from anywhere, and we don't have a flag on the tail apart from the European flag. And people in France think we're French, people in Italy think we're Italian, people in the UK think we're British. So we've managed to pull that off across the major markets of Europe. The offer's evolving in a number of ways, and let me talk about a few of them. The first one is our business product. So we started as a leisure airline, and over the last few years we've really been focusing on our network and our schedules to get more business passengers. And in fact, if you look at the top 100 direct routes within Europe, point-to-point routes within Europe, we're on 46 of them, which is more than any other airline in Europe. So we really have got that network together, and that we've been building on frequencies and building on quality of schedule, timings and things like that, to make ourselves as attractive as possible to the business traveller. And that's resulted in the last few years in a real shift in business travellers towards easyJet. One of the other things we've been looking at is what in the customer journey causes issues. And so we measure the 19 steps of the customer journey, have done rigorously for the last 5 or 6 years. The biggest issue for easyJet is in fact the boarding process. When you get to the gate, it causes anxiety that you don't have a seat number. And the actual boarding process itself can be sometimes not that great, we know that. So we've been looking at what can we do about it. The obvious answer is to give everyone a seat number. The reason we didn't do allocated seating to start with is there was perception that it slows down the turnaround time of the plane. Now, if you're in a low-cost environment, utilisation of the aircraft is everything. Keeping the planes employed in the air, earning money is what it's all about, and having them sitting on the ground doesn't help. So the turnaround time is critical, and worrying about that has always stopped us doing allocated seating. But for the last 6 months we've been trialling what happens if we did do allocated seating. So on 5% of routes we've been running a trial where people know where they're going to be sitting on the plane before they get on, and therefore that problem at the gate is alleviated or removed. And actually the trial's working, and we just announced recently we're actually going to roll out allocated seating across the whole network from November, December this year. It's no surprise that customers are looking for value. Our customers are always looking for value. That was the basis of the airline growing in the first place. But I think they really are looking for value now. And what we're finding is we're getting people coming from traditional airlines who may not have flown with a company like easyJet before, and now coming to us more and more. And so the breadth of our customer base is growing based on the value proposition. Value is not just about price. Value is also about customer service. And we place a lot of emphasis with our crew and all of our staff on making sure that we have a great customer experience. Smiling doesn't cost anything, right? So you have to look after people, we understand that. And that kind of little soft touches as well as great value and great pricing is driving our business model right now. I think the trends in the marketplace are still towards consolidation. So we're seeing weaker players coming under more and more pressure, and every day or every week you kind of see someone failing in whether it's a travel agency or an airline. That's always been going on, but it appears to be a little bit more consistent now. And I think that as the economy gets tighter and tighter, people kind of get pushed, if they're not performing really well, kind of get pushed to the sides, which is unfortunate, but it's one of the things which is occurring in the current economy. And so in our world, in the airline industry, we see further consolidation and the big carriers kind of merging towards each other. And I think in Europe, you're essentially seeing Lufthansa Group, Air France Group, BA and Iberia and Ryanair and easyJet becoming the major forces. In fact, we're already number 4 in Europe anyway. So, but I think that those 4 or 5 larger organisations will start to really focus on Europe and be the major players. I think the industry working together, going back to taxation, is got to be the overwhelming thing. One of the things, if you talk to ministers in private, they'll tell you that, frankly, the industry has been fragmented. And so you're lobbying against things like APD tax increases, haven't worked to some extent because different airlines have been saying different things, different trade associations have been saying different things. We need to find a way to speak with one voice, and if the one voice will be a huge voice, and I think we'll be listened to. But until we find a way to do that, it's going to be difficult. I mean, one thing easyJet's been involved is a 4-way getting together with BA, Virgin, and Ryanair. To speak on one voice on UK APD, aviation. But I think we need to get together as a wider community too to speak on more general issues as well as APD.